Sherry Daniels, as much as everybody would like to answer questions, I appreciate that. We're going to mix it up, but we have to accelerate the format. Sherry Daniels from Huntington Beach, Republican. So for the two candidates, what would you do on day one to reverse what Newsom has done with regard to raising taxes, housing mandates, and the attack on the Second Amendment? Go.
I'll take it.
So number one, I'm going to be realistic. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, probably up to 10 is nothing but signing away the regulations that have destroyed this state. When you ask about what are you going to do about tax and laws, we need to be realistic and say the governor can do absolutely nothing about that other than convince the legislature that they need to either repeal it or amend it. And that starts before day one. That starts from the day you elect me, in those 3 months of making sure that they know what my priorities are, what my agenda is, talking about the Second Amendment. 32 years of doing this, I'm telling you, I'll speak for every cop in this state. Law-abiding residents don't commit crimes. End of story. Guns do not commit crimes. End of story. There is absolutely no such thing as gun violence. There is absolutely no way that a gun jumps up on a shelf, runs down the street shooting people. People commit crimes. Guns do not. Our gun laws are only meant to prevent law-abiding residents from having guns. That agenda changes with me as your governor. That agenda changes the day I get elected, not the day I take office. We have to be realistic. And with that question, it was all about taxes. I can do everything in my power with regulations, signing them away. But taxes, it's about working with the legislature to make sure that my agenda is implemented. And guns, the Second Amendment, is going to be a priority.
Day one, we have to start dismantling the bloated, nanny state bureaucracy, exactly as Chad said. But let's get specific about what I would do as well as that. Number one, I will arrive in office with my first budget written. We just had the governor's budget published yesterday. He's increasing spending another $40 billion into their corrupt machine. Can you believe that? Why do we have the highest taxes in the country? Because we have spending that's out of control. I will be going in there with a $60 billion spending cut so we can cut taxes for working Californians. Your first 100 grand, no state income tax. I will dare the Democrats to vote down a tax cut for working Californians. You asked about housing, and by the way, I just want to say what a great fight Michael Gates and Huntington Beach led against the tyranny of the housing mandates from Sacramento. That will end. The RENA numbers, all gone. The Housing and Community Development Department, all gone. Ending the days when Sacramento is telling communities to build housing that they don't want. That will end. We will take this corrupt system apart and restore freedom so that our people, our businesses can create the jobs and wealth and opportunity that will restore the California dream. All of that can happen on day one because I'm making the plans now. You can read them. I've done the work. I've traveled the state for 3 years putting in the work to develop the plans to make this happen starting on day one.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. This next question is for Mr. Daniel Mercury and Sheriff Chad Bianco. With the 34th Olympiad being hosted in Los Angeles and the state of California, respectively, this question is regarding the Olympics because, it's about the Olympics, but because of the homelessness in Los Angeles, it's a very serious matter. And how do you propose we as a state can actually deal with this particular problem? Because with homeless individuals, there are a lot of them that are suffering from mental health. So do we clean up the streets and then what happens to them afterwards when the Olympics is over and all the international crowd goes home? What is the long-term plan for these people on the streets?
So most of my answers are always going to start off with, first and foremost, the Constitution of the United States, state Constitution. So if you look at the state Constitution, we've already outlined on how to handle low-income housing. Well, the reason why they actually don't take care of the homeless is because there's profit to be made off of the homeless. So what happens is that your counties can actually claim a crisis. When they claim a crisis, they're able to get and require more funding or request more aid from the state and or at the federal level. So then just as recently, Gavin Newsom gave a $5 billion bond to Los Angeles to help the homeless. The problem is there's no fiscal oversight committee as to where the money is going, who's getting what, and if whether or not this is actually going to work. So under my administration, one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that there can no longer be a claim for crisis. Number two, we're going to try to enshrine it in the state constitution under a memorandum of understanding the way a number of other counties actually function on how they're going to handle the homeless when it comes to those who have mental instabilities, those who are actually down on the luck, veterans like myself, and a number of other people. And why aren't we doing that? Again, it's because there's profit to be made off of the homeless. And so we already have a number of wards that in hospitals that are vacant, that are not being utilized. Mental instability individuals out there. We can also utilize a lot of realtors who have here just in Los Angeles alone over 80,000 vacant buildings and lots and homes that can be retrofitted out to the homeless, but yet they don't do it because, again, the county's not making money off of that. So this is how we're going to get the homeless off the street. This is how it's going to be a win-win for the homeless, and this is how we're going to take care of the Olympics to make sure that they are removed from the street and there's no longer any vagrants, and it's a win-win for us and it's a lose for the counties.
The only true experts in what we see on the street with these people that are out there is law enforcement. We're dealing with it on a daily basis. So as the governor, I will tell you that I'll make it a crime for all of you to ever use the word homeless again. Because the word homelessness is a psychological ploy to get you to feel sorry for them. This has absolutely nothing to do with homes. This is a way for you to think that it has something to do with homes, so the waste, the fraud, the abuse of the money can flow to the people that are being made rich, and that money will never be stopped because people are making their livelihoods and their grandchildren's livelihoods off of your taxpayer dollar. This is a homeless industrial complex that is treating it like a homeless problem when it absolutely is not. This is a drug and alcohol-induced psychosis problem. And until you address it for what it is, we will never fix it. Cleaning up LA for the Olympics is going to be very, very easy. Stopping the money is what happens on day one. The nonprofits, the NGOs, the LLCs that are getting the billions of dollars of your taxpayer money that is never making it down to the street to help these people is where the crime is. And this went along with several of the other things, and the absolute enthusiasm of the crime, the waste, the fraud, and the abuse. Send the guy with the badge and the gun into Sacramento to clean that place up, because all of them are going to go to jail. If you have ever been on Skid Row, it is disgusting what we are allowing our fellow human beings to do in the name of money for someone else. It ends with me as your governor.
Okay,
I'll ask you one.
Okay. I'd really like to speak on the homelessness. Yeah, the thing is I graduated from high school homeless. I was raised by a single mother. I've lived in women's shelters and Section 8 housing. And the thing is it's not just drug-induced psychosis. The thing is that everyone in California is feeling the burn. Over about 50% of people cannot afford an unexpected expense of about $400 or more. I know people are homeless. I know who people are, the people that are homeless. I know them because they're friends. They're people that I personally have relationships with. And these government programs that are out there are so corrupt that the services rarely get out to the people who actually need them. And so the thing is, there are two things that I constantly drive by everywhere that I go around California. It's new warehouses and more homeless people. And so what we should start doing is take some of these big giant warehouses, a lot of which are already owned by local governments, county governments, state governments, put services in those warehouses, put tiny homes in those warehouses, and then bring the services in there so that people have an opportunity to get help where there is mental health help available, where there's medical assistance available. And then that way we keep everything in one place. Because in order to just tell them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, it creates and exacerbates the problem. What we need to do is we need to stop financially incentivizing the homeless industrial complex, turn off the money hose, and actually make government work for the people so that they're no longer slipping through the cracks because government can't manage its own money. Thank you.
My question then is for Mr. Herms and Mr. Hilton. So Northern California, we lost our congressman this week. Doug LaMalfa passed away tragically. So this question's for him. Forest management, water management, very important to us up there. Again, I'm in Butte County. Half our county has burned. Literally, we've got victims still in paradise. So before Palisades, before Maui, there was paradise. So what can you speak to about water management and forest management? Thank you.
Well, I don't know if online they can hear me because I heard my mic was off to people who are watching online. So hope you can read sign language or maybe lips. That would be nice. This is a phenomenal question, right? A phenomenal question. In fact, I've done some digging in this, and there's a lot of answers. But there's a gentleman in the audience right now. His name is Richard Leet, and he's been ignored by other candidates with an amazing water program that he's developing for California. And why this is not good that he's been ignored, this guy's foundation is from the Leets, the original Leets. In fact, he looks like an identical clone of one of the first governors of America. Think about that. And he's been ignored. And it's incredible what he has. This guy is amazing in what he's created. Now, do I know it's going to work? No, but you know what? I was willing to say, hey, let me see what you got. Because we need new ideas. We know that 40 billion gallons of water is pouring in to the ocean or being lost every single day. Right now, we should have the ability to at least capture half of that. If we capture half of that, all of California is green. All of it. Farmers have all the water they need. But yet, you'll have somebody like Gavin Newsom, that his biggest donor is the Resnicks, who own 60 to 70% of the water rights in LA, where the Palisades burned down. Right? So we have to get rid of the corruption, but there's answers. But we need to pay attention and do new ideas, because nothing old has worked. Doesn't work. We have to go new.
Thank you so much for the question. Doug LaMalfa was a wonderful, wonderful man. I spent a lot of time with him. He taught me a lot about both those topics, especially forestry. We miss him greatly, and we think of his family. So let me say what I can say quickly in the time that I have available. If you want a longer answer, forest management was actually the very first policy report I produced at my policy organization, Golden Together. You can read that report, Modern Forest Management, on the website goldentogether.com, but here's the basis of it. We got to put together the revival of our timber industry that's been destroyed by these insane environmental policies. So if you go back a few years, we used to take 6 billion board feet, out of the forests in timber in California. Do you know what it is today? 1.5. A quarter of what it was. We're using more, but what are we doing now? We are importing it. It's insanity. We're importing timber from Oregon and from Canada, for goodness sake. Now, President Trump has changed all that at the federal level. Doug Burgum, the Interior Secretary, a friend of mine, is implementing the president's executive order where possible. But guess who's fighting it? Gavin Newsom and the Democrats here in California. When I'm governor, we will work with Doug and his colleagues to revive our timber industry so we can manage our forests. Very quickly on water, I'm sorry. One of the other reports you can read at goldentogether.com, water abundance. Here's how we do it. Number one, even within the current water infrastructure we have, we can increase deliveries to our farmers. I've spent so much time in the Central Valley and with our farmers. In the state, in the federal system, for example, from the Sacramento, San Joaquin Delta through the Delta Mendota Canal, just give me 1 second, you've got an increase in deliveries because of what President Trump has done. He's turned the tap up. That's what I will do in the state system. And then longer term, we need to build that infrastructure. Raise Shasta Dam, complete Sites Reservoir, desalination. That's how we get the water we need.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton.
Hey guys. Right. So voters want a candidate that stand their ground when defending their values and their beliefs. Again, a lot of tough talk, but actions are what matter. So Sheriff Bianco, in June 2020, you were in a face-off with the anti-American, anti-police enemy BLM, and you took a knee. Hey, hate me all you want. It just fuels me. Just keep it coming. A few hours later, the looting started. Okay? So why should the voters trust you to hold the line next time? And what would the rest of you do differently when facing the same enemy?
It's interesting that you're coming here with your attitude, but your entire question is two lies. There were 10,000 people in downtown Riverside. There were 1,200 cops. 950 were my deputies. 300 were other law enforcement officers outside of that. No, I never took a knee to BLM. So here's the thing. So for all of you Republicans out there, for all of you with a brain and who can critical think, right now, I am arguably the most respected law enforcement leader in the country. Right now, I am the most respected law enforcement leader in this state. Right now, I am the most respected law enforcement leader in my county, hands down. That never could be possible with what you just said happened to me kneeling to BLM. Absolutely not. Here's the answer. My God is far bigger than BLM. My God is far bigger than this room, your silly question, or the lie that the looting started after. My job that night, after we prayed for the safety of my deputies,
Don't insult me. I didn't ask you a question.
We're going to add time for him interrupting you. We're going to add time for him interrupting me.
Holy cow.
Here's the thing. After I told them personally that we were shutting them down because it was turning riotous, we gave them 20 minutes to leave. They asked if they could pray for my deputies. I said absolutely, and they did. 30 minutes later, we physically, with the most force ever used against a domestic terrorist organization without killing anyone, we removed them from Riverside with zero looting, with zero damage, and with zero injuries to my deputies. And to this day, those organizations put out across their social media, do not go to Riverside County because we can't help you with Sheriff Chad Bianco. It is a lie perpetrated by some candidates that never happened.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank Chad Bianco for revisionist history. And folks, I have a question. I have no problem who you're supporting, but this is a vetting process right now for candidates. So any question on stage, even a hard-hitting question at me, should come at it. That's what this is about. So I don't know why you would possibly shut that down. But you have the best, strongest sheriff here in all of California, yet he has a solved rate on crime of 9.2%. Right? Are you kidding me? He's also the highest paid sheriff. How exactly does that math add up? He spent $170,000 to go ahead and renovate what used to be an interrogation office and turn it into a lieutenant office. We should ask those questions. $50,000 for a door that the maximum price is $3,000. We're talking about race, fraud, and abuse. Everybody should be looked at. Chad should be looked at. I should be looked at. Serpa, Mercury, Hilton, all of us. Bring it, because we need to be vetted, because we are for we the people, and that's it.
But the question I asked you was, what would you do differently? Okay. What would you have done differently in facing BLM? That's the question.
Okay. So first off, I'm going to piss off everybody, because that's what I like to do. Behind the woodshed is piss everybody off. Sheriff, you did kneel. But the thing is it doesn't bother me. And it shouldn't bother anybody when someone is participating in free speech. Free speech is not meant to protect comfortable speech. I can tell you this about my sheriff. Everybody, including all of the protesters, went home safe. All of the sheriffs went home safe. All of the deputies went home safe, and there was no property damage. So I'm sorry that free speech makes some people uncomfortable. That's just free speech. This is what Well, I wouldn't have kneeled. I wouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, I wasn't in the situation that he was in. My sheriff kept everybody safe. At the end of the day, what I want to do with ignorance is you give ignorance a microphone and a willing opponent. And what I didn't see from any of my city officials, no one was there. Not the city councilmen, not the county supervisors, not the congressmen, not the assemblymen, not the senators, but Sheriff Bianco was there. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
I'm going to take this back. I think we've heard enough. I appreciate everybody's input on this. I'm going to...
He asked all of us what we would do differently. So your question was, what would we have done if we were in that situation? Of course, talk is cheap. We weren't there. Okay. Number 2 is whether you believe the sheriff took a knee or not. It was not really part of the question. It was to the rest of the candidates. He had a separate question. And then our question was, what would we do differently? And then if we were ever put in that situation, or what would we have done in retrospect? So what have I done for the United States? I'm an honorable discharged naval veteran. I served 2 tours, 3 operations. I served Operation Southern Watch, Operation Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom. Now here's one of the things. A lot of people say, what have you done? I was in the middle of the aircraft when the jihadists were coming to actually ignite and swarm the carrier. And in that aircraft, they told us that we were the only ones close enough to get out there, hover out there, and put ourselves in between their surface-to-air missile and the carrier. So basically, the pilot said, this is what we signed up for. Are you ready? And that basically meant we were going to die. We were going to put ourselves and get blown out of the sky. And the hack put his hand in there and says, I'm ready. The pack put his hand in there and said, I'm ready. The crew chief and myself and said, I'm ready. What did I just say? I'm ready to die for my country. And we sat there sweating bullets at 120 degrees. We got a phone call back over the radio and said, come home, stand down. And we made it all the way back to where the aircraft almost crashed into the ocean. So what did I do with my country? I fought for my country. I owe nothing to no one. Now, here's what I would have done differently. First off, you can't take a knee, whether you believe it or not. That's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide. Number 2, it's antithetical for you to take an oath of office to anything that is Marxist. Marxism is the antithesis to the Supreme Court. So you put me in office, as I've already demonstrated, I would never do anything of a sort because you require me and everybody else who's going to stand up here and say, I'm going to fight for your rights, I'm going to support and defend the Constitution with my very life, no matter what.
All right, so there's been a lot of overtime on this question. And indeed, I went a little bit over on my last answer, so I'm going to keep this one very, very short. Your question was, what would you differently look? I'm not running for sheriff, I'm running for governor. And so this is what I'm going to say very clearly. That my job as governor is to support law enforcement to the hilt. And what I will tell you right now is that I would never second guess the commander in the field dealing with a situation. That is not my job. That is not what I want to do here tonight either.
All right, thank you. The next question, if we all know the closing for filing is March 6th, if polling out there shows that you are not the top Republican candidate and you're trailing by more than 5 percentage points, would you be willing to bow out of the race to avoid splitting the vote in the primary? And this is a pretty short, easy answer. So I would say up to 30 seconds for each candidate, all 5. Up to 30 seconds.
Okay, so thank you for that question. I've made it very obvious to everybody. I've been very vocal about this. We need 8 executives, not 1. Schwarzenegger learned this the hard way. You can't fix it at the top of the ticket and nowhere else. President Trump learned this the hard way in 2016. He couldn't do it by himself. He came in with a whole group in 2024. If I am not picking up steam, hey, it might even be that as early as next week. I'm happy to step out and endorse one of these gentlemen behind me for the good of the Republican Party and the good of the state of California. Thank you.
Cue the hate music. I'm not Republican. You hear the silence there? I'm non-political preference because the California GOP is a captured operation. And they have no intent on winning anything because they don't make money when they're winning anything. Right? So we need to be honest with ourselves. Would I support some candidates? Absolutely. If it's a deep state candidate hiding under the guise of being a Republican, no, but I sure in the hell will call them out. So we'll have to look and see. March with a little bit of way.
I'll keep this one short. No.
Chad.
Steve's waiting for me to answer. So let's all be very, very clear and very, very honest.
At the same time, Chad.
I'm only in this race because this is a Republican's race to lose. This is not. They're giving us this. Look at who's running. Look at everything that's happening. We can win unless we run the same campaigns, the same election that we always have, and we make a repeat of what we did 4 years ago. We have to get behind one person. Yeah. You've seen a lot of passion. You've seen a lot of energy. You have a lot of great ideas. We're all conservative Republicans or an independent. And just since he's throwing it out there, I'm endorsed by the American Independent Party. Yeah. With that, this is all of our problem. It's not about who has the best idea. It's not who about is the most fiery. It's about who can win a statewide election and who are we going to get behind to do it. My job as sheriff, I love it a lot better than even thinking about being governor. If I thought somebody was going to win, of course I would get behind it.
Thank you. 30 seconds.
This is by March 6th.
I agree. If I thought that someone here, or even someone who isn't here, could take the fight to the Democrats, beat them, restore our state to what it should be, that's what I'm in this for, that's what we're all in this for. I agree with Chad. I would do that. We still have a lot of campaigning ahead of us. We have to make sure that we have the strongest possible person to go into that fight against the Democrats. I know that a lot of people have been looking at the polls, which start usually me and Chad at the top. Sometimes it's Chad, sometimes it's me. The interesting thing is that it's often two Republicans at the top. Now, I know that some people like to speculate that maybe the two of us, Chad, will be in the... That would be a very, very fun general election to have, because we know that we would have sanity restored to California. We don't... To tell you, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that is a fantasy. I think we do need to get behind one candidate. I will get behind a candidate if by that date it looks like the other candidate is stronger. Yes, I will make that pledge. But I tell you right now, I believe that I am going to be the stronger candidate because I have the business experience, the government reform experience, and the support. I've got 23 seconds.
We're only 30 seconds. 30 seconds. It was 30 seconds.
I'm so sorry.
It was just 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I didn't hear the instructions. I'm sorry. I will make sure I go under on the next question. How much do I owe you in terms of time?
2 minutes.
All right.
Okay,
No, I
thank you.
apologize. I thought it was a
Thank
minute
you,
and a half.
Mr. Hilton. Okay, this question is going to go for Mr. David Serpa. Young people are leaving California because it's too expensive. It's not just housing, but what can we do to stop young people and important businesses from moving out of California? And what policies would you put in place to enable affordable housing, especially for first-time home buyers?
I'm so grateful for that question. Every event that I go to, young people flock to me. They love me. I was just being told in the intermission about how if this crowd was full of young people, I would win this debate hands down. And it's because they understand that that I'm not here to leave them behind. I have 5 kids, 6 years old to 18 years old, and it feels like no one's looking out for the next generation. And it's because we're being led by a bunch of boomers who have been in power for 20 or 30 years. And so what we need to do is we need to start using some different policy. I would open up some of the 48 million acres of public land for development and building new cities. If we built 6 new cities the size of San Francisco and Sacramento, those are 60,000 acre cities. We would develop 300,000 acres of the 48 million acres. We would still have 47,700,000 acres of public land still available. We need to build more housing, give people the opportunity to build their own housing. Housing kits are making a comeback, just like when the Sears catalog came out years and years ago. We're building them off-site. I want to take care of their education system. I want to hold the universities and the state colleges responsible for the lack of education they are giving our children. I want to hold them responsible for the fact that they're bankrupting our children with student loan debt. And if they're not willing to start paying off our children's student loan debt, we'll go after their endowments, we'll go after their dowries, and we'll tax them into oblivion until we make them truly public again. Because public education should serve the American public. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sure you're all going to want to answer it. So, election integrity. My friends in Shasta County dumped Dominion, and they're putting voter ID and same-day voting on the ballot in June. What will you all do to ensure election integrity? Thank you.
Thank you. First, Chad had a great point. He's been endorsed by the American Independent. This independent's been endorsed by Conservative Party USA, if that tells you anything. Conservative Party has endorsed me. Very important. So, in regards to election integrity, right? Thanks for chirping in, Chad. Appreciate that. He's a troll also. So, and thank you. In regards to election integrity, I'll be the first one to say out there is no integrity without reform, right? Let's change our language. We must have election reform. Let's worry about integrity after we reform the elections, right? Of course, we need the standard mantra. We need the paper ballots. We need the same-day voting, on and on and on. I actually have written a proposal. Steve Hilton knows about this, Mercury and Serpa. I'm going to get it to everybody. And it's an emergency order request to President Trump that a lot of our candidates are going to sign on, that is asking him to declare an emergency order in California for an election reform immediately. That will be in President's hands. And by the way, my intent was not to take credit for this, as I told Steve Hilton, but it popped up, so we have to talk about it, right? Because it's not about me. This is about we the people taking California back and doing it right now. That will be in President Trump's hand within about 72 hours.
So, election integrity. I think we've already said it. There is no integrity to our elections, and I think we know this. I think when it comes to election reform, here's something that I've been going around the state of California and trying to wake people up. Your county clerk, your county registrar, your office where your votes go to, you already have the authority right now to hold their feet to the fire. You already have the ability to look at their outlines as to what they're going to do to ensure, I believe it's in Article 2, to ensure that all votes are accounted for. And if they're not, what is the repercussions? What is the protocol? If you don't know, then your count might be counted by somebody else. Or you might not even get a ballot, or you're going to get multiple ballots. So one of the things that we can already do right now is to ensure that our counties purge the voter roll completely in its entirety. Why? Because dead people can't come re-register.
That's right.
Illegals aren't going to make their presence known.
That's right.
They're not going to send out a ballot to somebody who's out of state. So why are we doing this right now so that we can have an integrity-driven election this election cycle? It's not too late. So get up, get down to your county clerk's office, start pushing back, and start making sure that you understand the protocols and the nature of what's supposed to happen per your county, so we can get in somebody at this level to ensure we've got a good governor that's going to set the BS correct. And this is what we require from all of you. I require this, and we all need to participate. And one of the best things that I'm going to do is to make sure that if I become governor, the SOS is going to purge all of California and start new and force everybody to come back in and re-register. Thank you.
All right, let me pay back some of my dues. I'll do this in 30 seconds. Number one, right now, we've all got to get behind voter ID. When we get voter ID on the ballot, when we get that across the line, that will be a first step. Number two, clean up the voter rolls. That is already happening. We need to push it further. Partly from the federal government, we can do more here. And then when I'm governor, we're going to fight for very simple things. Paper ballots. Vote on one day. Count on one day. Get the results on one day. Most of the rest of the world does it like that. Why can't we?
So you realize we're all doing the same thing. It's a conservative, common sense approach. We absolutely, 80% of the state, the 20% are lunatics that are benefiting from the rigged elections. 80% of the state wants fair elections. Fair elections are exactly what he just said that we can all agree with. That's what we all want. Here's the thing for all of you. Stop freaking talking about it. Stop complaining and bitching about stolen elections and about election rigging, because what that does is the 60% of us that don't vote, fact, that's math, 60% don't vote, and it's because they have this attitude of, it's rigged, there's nothing we can do, my vote doesn't count, they're picking the elections already. And I'm going to leave you with this. President Trump is the only person that can talk about stolen election. President Trump's 2020 election was stolen completely, and we all know it. And here's the thing. In 2024, he never said it once. He said, make it too big to rig, because he knows that the only reason way he was going to win is if those 60% of people that don't vote get off their lazy butts and go vote. Quit complaining about election rigging. We'll fix it all when you elect one of us. But we aren't going to do it till it's there. You have to sign the petition. You have to get that on the voter rolls. We have to bring people out to vote. And we have to get somebody in there to fix the system that was designed to make sure that Democrats stay there.
One of the things that we need to start doing is talking about government correctly. If we want to Doge California, that office already exists. It's the controller's job. If we want to get control of the money, that office already exists. That's the treasurer's job. And if we want to get control of our elections, that job already exists. It's the Secretary of State's job. But we continue to send these losers to Sacramento, and we don't send somebody who's a rock star who can actually fix it. I have asked 3 different people to run for Secretary of State. The first person I asked was Chris Bish. She's not interested. She wants to run for Congress. The second person that I asked was Shiloh Marks. I said, you're doing a better job getting control of the voter rolls than the Secretary of State's office. And the third person that I asked to run for Secretary of State's office is right there, Daniel Mercury. I can't imagine a better person going in and taking control of the voter rolls, cleaning them up, and saving our elections. I think that it's something that we need to do here in California. We need to go in as a team. But one of the best ways that we can do it this time is same-day voting, voter ID, and paper ballots. We go back to the past, so then that way we can take a step forward in confidence. Get the Secretary of State's office on an app so that we know who's running for Assembly, Senate, Congress, and the executive seats. Because it's way too much work navigating the Secretary of State's office. And then finally make it possible for us to vote on a blockchain instantaneously. It's the same way that we count our money on Wall Street. It's instantaneous. It should be the same way that we count our votes. Thank you.
All right, to be clear, I just want you guys to know there's nothing personal behind the questions that I'm asking. My only concern is love of country and having a standard for fighting for it. That's it. I mean, if you think that these questions are hard, just imagine what's going to happen in the general election. Sonia asked me to ask a question from the audience, from Christine and Eric Fleming, founders of the California Family Law, Naked Truth. I think this goes for all you guys because I don't see a name on here, but considering the widespread corruption and lack of due process in California's family courts, where judges often ignore evidence and place children with abusers, how would you as governor work to reform the system, ensure fair hearings, and hold judges accountable for their actions, given the governor's power to influence state agencies and oversee the judiciary, such as the California Commission on Judicial Performance, CCJP? Would you advocate for and push for reform in the family court system?
I want to start this one. First off, I don't know if you know, my name is Daniel Mercury. I'm running for California governor. And to David Serpa, I only asked one other person to run as my lieutenant governor, and that was David Serpa. And I think right now everybody who's blowing up the stage is myself and David Serpa. That's my personal opinion. To answer your question when it comes to judicial performance, yes, as a governor, there's 11 bodies. 11 bodies under the California State Constitution. It stipulates that the governor can actually appoint 4 of the 11 bodies. Not to mention that the governor can also appoint judges in the state of California and tie them to the Judicial Performance Committee appointees to start pushing back with these lawfare activist judges who are tearing apart what our judges are supposed to do, and that is to ensure justice. But they don't. They ensure law and legal loopholes. Justice and law are not synonymous, though they want you to think that. Justice comes by way of the people under the Constitution, 5th, 6th, and 7th Amendment that break up the courts under trial jury. And yet they keep family court under civil. And that makes sure that you stand in front of only a judge. So under an E.C. Prius court, that court, meaning an inferior court, you're always going to be decided by one person. It shouldn't be that way. And so under my administration, you're going to have the power back. We're going to push back with these judges. We're going to get them benched. We're going to get them removed. And we're going to appoint new judges that are about ensuring that justice stands and that they don't try to change the law.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for that answer. This is one of the most disgusting things I hear on the road. Families ripped apart by this evil. That's what it is. This evil ideology that's infected our courts, that's infected our bureaucracy. A lot of it driven by gender ideology. That's ripping children away from their loving parent and putting them in the hands of those who would harm them. We've got to stop this. This is a massive, massive scandal that no one wants to talk about. We should be talking about it. What you said on the judicial aspect, I completely support. I'm not going to repeat that. I want to talk about the bureaucracy. Child Protective Services, the Department of Child Services, all of these institutions are rotten to the core. They are infected with an evil, and I say that word again, that is the right word, an evil ideology. They have to be closed down. We have to rebuild from the ground up these organizations that are truly pro-family in the real, decent sense. That is what we need to protect our children and to end this absolutely despicable evil that is hurting so many more people than anyone knows. And it starts by talking about it, and that's why I'm so grateful for the question and the opportunity for all of us to answer.
There was an independent audit that was done by the state auditor's office, and they found that the number one agency that was considered the most high risk of all of the agencies in California was the Department of Social Services. We need to understand that we're called, above all things, to look after our widows and orphans. And what's happened is, in our foster care system, in Child Protective Services, we've started preying on our children. We've started creating financial incentives to rip children away from their parents and then give them to someone else when the parent doesn't have money. We'll state subsidize someone else in order to take care of that person's child. That's insane. What we need to do is we need to go directly into the system. We need to go after CPS. We need to make it so that every single child that is looked at for human trafficking is no longer becoming a ward of the state. That's one of the biggest problems that we have. When there's a runaway, that child is returned to the state instead of returned to their loving parents that has their best interest at heart. And then finally, we have to go after the money, because we've created a huge financial incentive for children to be ripped away from their parents. We've created all these group homes and foster homes, and everything is about the destruction of the family. And then finally, the judges. The governor appoints about 11 to 14 judges annually, which means that if Governor Newsom appointed that many judges, he's appointed about 50 judges in the last 5 years. That's something that we all need to be concerned about. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm the only one that has been working intimately with CPS for the past 32 years. Law enforcement knows that CPS is absolutely broken, and I do just have to disagree. This does not get fixed from the bottom up. This gets fixed from the top down. There are fantastic CPS workers out there that have their absolute hands tied because of a broken system and agenda that starts in Sacramento and goes down. Yes, it has to absolutely be ripped apart and done over, but it's not from the bottom up. There are good people out there that want to do good things that are prevented by a government that doesn't want it to happen. Yeah. From the law enforcement world, we sit and we shake our hands or shake our heads and say, what do you mean you took the kids away from that family? And then others, you're giving them back to them? It's absolutely broken, and it is ridiculous, but it's the people at the top. And I've been there for the last 32 years. I know all of them that are at the top, and I know every single one of them that's going to lose their job once you elect me. We will fix this because it is absolutely the responsibility of adults to take care of kids that can't take care of themselves. And when other adults abuse those kids, we have to rescue those kids. But when it is not, when it is the system that is abusing those kids and those parents, we also have to step in. And we're talking about judges. Do all of you know that you put those judges in place? Yes, the governor can appoint some, but you are electing those people. You don't even know who you elect. You don't even, I guarantee you're not researching the judges that you vote for. You look at who's in office and you vote yes, or you look at who's not in office and you vote yes, but you don't know who's going in there. Thank you. We will fix CPS, and let's don't limit it to CPS and family law. This is criminal law, civil law, and family law. Fix our justice system.
We can restart.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Restart it, thank you. Where money goes, corruption flows. So, we need to talk about the family court corruption, because I can tell you right now that somewhere between $80,000 to $100,000 is the price they put on a child's head. That's the type of money that goes through the court system and through foster care. Think about that. And all the attorneys like to get their hands on that. So they have no reason to fight for the child. Did you know, let's talk about a percentage. Did you know that 90% of the children that are taken out of the home could have stayed there for about $2,500? Because it's generally a financial, education, or cleanliness issue that's in the home. Think about that. So we're ripping children out of their homes and spending up to $100,000 when we could rehabilitate and help the parent be a better parent for $2,500. And then they get into a system that doesn't care. Or there's a case with Adam Vina, a wonderful, wonderful person. All he did is text his ex and say, "I don't want my little boy wearing a dress." Right? They got an activist judge, and now they're in the middle of trying to change chemically that child's sex, and that same judge and the judge previously happened to be on a committee in order to promote that. Family court needs to be audited and taken down immediately.
Thank you very much. This next question is for David Serpa and Daniel Mercury. So when it comes to the context of state housing mandates, what, in your opinion, is the real cause of the increase in housing prices, and what's your solution?
I appreciate it. Thank you for the question. One of the biggest things that we as Christians we like to talk about, we like to talk about the Bible, we like to talk about our faith, but how come we're not talking about usury? How come we're not talking about the amount of interest that is being charged on student loans, on housing, on credit cards? At some point or another, we need to reevaluate our financial systems and understand that freedom is economic freedom. And so what we need to do is we need to get control of the banking system, we need to get control of our currency, but we also need to understand that if supply and demand, the way that it works, if you put in more supply, then the cost comes down. We need to give more power to individuals to develop their own lots. For the first time in history, actually for the first time since the 1940s, the Sears catalog essentially is coming back. People used to say, my grandpa built this house. You guys are going to be able to build your own houses again because more of the housing is being built off-site. You could buy housing from the TikTok shop. You could buy housing from Amazon, from Tesla, from Walmart. And we're getting to where it's more and more accessible. And if you could buy a piece of land for $30,000 and you could buy a housing kit for $30,000, all of a sudden you're buying a house for $60,000 versus $900,000 at a 9% interest rate with a 50-year loan. That's madness. We need to attack the whole system, flip it upside down, and give the power back to the individuals.
So one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually own your property free and clear without having to pay property tax. So one of the things is an abrogation to our rights is the state is always run like a business. That's the dumbest thing that you can do. That has nothing to do with good governance. When it comes to running the state like a business, they force the people to have to meet on a profit margin, irrelevant if it's made in bad faith. So the states, when they joined the union, became the trustees of the land. So then the banks came in and they buy up that land, which used to be called an allodial title. An allodial title meant that you own the land, you own the soil, you own the airspace, including when it comes to some of our farmers with their water, and they have senior water rights pre-legislation. That means they control all of it, that's theirs. And they're the ones who are feeding us, and yet we have corruption here in the state that charges them about $1,000 if they go over that. The problem is that the state utilizes the property to raise it up yearly so they can generate revenue. And last time I checked, I always hear, we're the 4th largest economy, right? That's great. But to whose prosperity? To the bank, to the state's overinflated budget, or to the people's bank accounts? Because I know it's not in your account. So one of the best things that we can do is open up those patent offices so that you, the people, once you pay off the lien from the bank, you can now go in and find out how much is left on that actual land so you can own the property in and of itself and watch how much higher the value of your land goes up when one day you want to pass it down or sell it. It doesn't belong to the government, it belongs to the people. That's what you're going to get when you get your
This next question is by Matthew Kennedy and Nicole Satterley from Hermosa Beach, MAGA. And this is going to go to Mr. Steve Hilton and Mr. Herms. What can you do as governor to bring oil refineries back to California to lower gas prices to the national average price?
All right. I've spent a lot of time in Kern County. I've been on the oil fields. I've studied the issue. This is an absolute insane situation we're in here in California. We have abundant oil and gas reserves in California. Not that long ago, around 80% of what we used in California, we produced in California. Now these climate fanatics have turned that on its head. We are importing nearly 80% of our oil and gas. It is a disgrace. We're shipping it in on giant supertankers. The number one provider of oil for California today, Iraq. It is insane. Here's what we're going to do. The way that they are shutting down our oil industry is not legislation, it is administrative action. Specifically, CalGEM, California Geologic and Energy Management. They are refusing to issue permits for maintaining existing wells, for expanding them, for drilling new wells in existing fields. I've seen it. Half the wells you look out of these oil fields aren't working. I will kick out the climate fanatics from CalGEM, put in place pro-energy people, end the ridiculous refinery regulations, produce California oil and gas, and then we won't be heading from $5 gas to $6 gas or $7 or even $8 when these refineries shut down. We'll be producing the oil here, giving business to our refineries so they stay open, and when we do all of that, we create jobs and opportunity in Kern County, and we get $3 gas in California.
Steve's got it mostly right. I would add on, though, the fact is, why are we ignoring the overtaxation and the extra regulation that's put on that actually stifles us completely, so you can never get down to $3 unless we address the overtaxation and the fake regulations that they call environmental, right? So obviously we have to bring back as many refineries as we can. But while we're doing that, there's something else that we can do, and it's proven. We can actually go and take energy from the landfills, and it's proven. I've seen it with my own two eyes. 97.5% of it can be recycled and put into a vat, and it literally turns into energy for 40% of the cost of what we pay right now. Why aren't we talking about new ideas? We're constantly going back to the old ideas. The other thing is, when we reduce the regulation, all these businesses that are leaving Standard Oil are going to come right back. Right? And we need to innovate then to come right back. Why is it that our trucks have to stop at the border and change over because of the environmental regulations that their trucks have to have? All that goes right back into making it too much costly. But here's the deal. Oil refineries alone are not going to fix the problem. This is a multifaceted problem. We need to think out of the box on this.
From a resident in Montebello, what will you do about the energy problems in California, make it less expensive? My kids pay a lot for PG&E and they're getting kind of tired of it. And how do we get rid of the windmills that are all over our fields? I guess Mercury and Serpa, Bianco?
Well, one of the things that they've done is, of course, they've shut down clean energy, of which a lot of our nuclear power plants have been shut down. And so they want us to go green, but yet we don't generate enough power to actually go green. And then in order for us to actually use solar, well, they created the Ivanpah solar panel farm out here in California that was a $2.2 billion debacle that they just shut down this last September in 2025. Because, well, it didn't actually work, couldn't generate the amount of power that we actually need right now. And then not to mention, they actually hurt the wildlife. So all these green activists burned up all these birds in mid-flight. And then here's the genius behind them. They still had to use natural gases to actually power up the solar panel in order for them to generate the power that we were supposed to go green. So this is the sort of backward thinking and ignorances that we have up in office. So under my administration, we have to turn back on many of the nuclear power plants that we require, including if we want water and we want to open up new desalination plants. You know what they require? They require kilowatts. California can be energy independent, and that is one of the things that we are missing. And the last thing too is that, you know, we've had past governors that have actually allowed PG&E and a number of others who have actually allowed for them, when they get sued because of their own mishaps, they can turn around and they can charge their customers the amount of money that they've been sued, so you get to pay on their debacle. So you put me in office, that's going to be removed. We're going to open up most of our clean energy nuclear power plants. We're going to turn back on the oil, and we're going to stop using this go green until it's been tried and true. And then we're going to lower the cost back down, because we're going to ensure that competition stays paramount, because that's what every company should be doing. They should be competing for your money.
Thank you.
I wrote a couple of books, over 900 pages, called Common Sense for California. Now, I needed over 900 pages because common sense isn't common in California. So what we need to do is we need to start looking at water and energy, which is chapter 1 of my book. And we need to understand that our water and our energy have been under deliberate attack because we are the breadbasket of America. California is the breadbasket of America. Iran is the breadbasket of the Middle East. Punjab is the breadbasket of India. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. We have been attacked because we're farmers. We grow our food. They have to shut down our water and shut down our energy, which is why they shut down San Onofre nuclear power plant. They wanted to shut down Diablo Canyon, and they privatized nuclear energy in 1994. Since then, we have been being dog-walked on a national stage, and we no longer even enrich uranium in America anymore. 40% of our uranium is enriched in China, 30% is enriched in Russia, and we just funded the Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company to build their largest facility right here in America, because we're no longer processing lithium either. We need to nationalize our water, our energy, our lithium, our uranium, so that our gas is not just $3 a gallon. Our gas should be $2 a gallon, but we've been taken over and conquered, and our sovereignty has been denied to us, just like it has everyone else throughout the world. Thank you.
So with me as your governor, we will start on the direct path of eventually getting to 100% nuclear, because that is the way you go. That is the way that you do it. The cheapest, the cleanest, the safest. It is 100% nuclear. The reason why they shut that down is because Bill Gates couldn't make money off of nuclear. Yeah. We went green. The good thing for all of us Republicans, if you're not paying attention to Bill Gates is now all of a sudden saying, oh, it's not that bad. Oil's not that bad. Coal's not that bad. We need to utilize coal, and we need to utilize oil, because they're moving to how they can make more money in the next realm. Green is gone. The windmills, disgusting. They can't supply us our energy. They shut down the solar because it doesn't work. It can't work, and they knew it couldn't work. We moved toward nuclear, but in the meantime, we have to become oil independent in California. Stop buying it from other countries and from other states. We absolutely must drill our own oil. Here's the thing. You treat it like Texas. You treat it like Alaska. You drill your own oil. There is a fee that comes with the oil companies drilling their own oil and pumping it from the ground that they pay to the state willingly. It's built into the Texas and Alaska does it to Italians. Here's the deal. 80% of the oil that we import on purpose on our backs makes Iran rich. If when they bring that in, that 80%, they pay nothing to the state. With me being oil independent in California, making it oil independent in California, the money generated from just pumping our own oil that we absolutely need and must have completely funds state government.
Thank you, Sheriff.
When I am done, you will not pay a state income tax in California.
Okay, so this question is for all of you. We'll start with Lewis. California is a sanctuary state for illegal aliens, and there are many cases of violent crimes committed by illegals against citizens, including rape and murder and drunk driving accidents resulting in death. So when an illegal alien commits violence against an American citizen, how will you hold accountable every single official up and down the line who allowed the violent criminal alien to enter our country, illegally remain here, and authorize their release from detention at any level? Someone's got to pay the price for what happened to the citizen of this country, and they're just walking around.
It's that simple. Now, we don't need to be compassionate with somebody that came over the border, right? Now, we can compassionately get them back into the country, but if they break off, they know what the challenge is. Our sheriffs wholesale are not doing the job. Sheriffs are not supporting the right people. Sheriffs are not enforcing the law. A lot of law enforcement is. Some law enforcement is doing a great job. We hold them up. Hold the accountable the ones that aren't. I have a website that we're working on that will be implemented soon, and then we'll go on to exposure.ca.gov when I'm governor. It's called Exposure. Anybody not doing their job, they will be called out on the website for we the people to hold them accountable so they know exactly what's going on, so the pressure comes from you. You're the top, we're not the top. We are an employee of you, and we have to understand that. I'm running for Guardian of California, and you are my governors.
I'm not sure you answered. I'm not sure you really answered it though. Like, what I'm asking is that you understand? People need to be held accountable, right? That allow for these people to be released who have committed the crimes. Someone needs to pay the price for what's happened. Okay, and Ben, I think you understand, right?
Yeah, no,
real quick.
So you're not going to hold them accountable if our officers are not doing their jobs and if the judges are corrupt. So it's a systematic issue that we have going on here, right? So we have to tear it down and bring it back up sometimes, but you must expose the ones that are not doing the job. And exposure is first, and then we can hold them accountable on a legal aspect.
And let's expose.
The problem is the system. You guys need to hold them accountable. We need to hold them accountable at the ballot box so they can't write these stupid laws so that they end up being enforced. And honestly, we need to stop looking at immigration like it's this sort of two-tiered thing where it's like, oh, well, these are the sweetheart immigrants that broke our law coming here, and these are the mean immigrants that we only go after because they're violent. I am 100% about the next generation, and you cannot give away all of our social safety systems to a bunch of illegal immigrants and expect there to be anything available for our children. Yeah. Our children deserve every single last bit of our tax dollars, the inheritance that is our birthright. We need to be leaving to them to be educated, to take the jobs of the future. They should not be sleeping under bridges. They should not be sleeping in their cars. They should not be uneducated. They should not be $100,000 in student loan debt. They should not be struggling to buy new homes just so that we can take care of illegal immigrants that shouldn't have been here in the first place. We need to we need to have a moratorium on all immigration for at least the next 4 or 5 years. We don't need a single immigrant, legal or illegal, until we start doing a better job taking care of the people that are already here. Taking care of our children, taking care of our elderly, and finally, this money, it goes to illegal immigrants while yours, the seniors, all of your pensions, if they're with the state of California, are at jeopardy because they are $1 trillion in the hole, according to the state of California.
Well, let me first correct something. Illegal immigrant, that's an oxymoron. Immigrant means that you actually came here correctly, you went through naturalization, you did it the right way. No, you're an illegal alien who's nothing more than an invader. Let's get that right. You asked the question about the people who allowed for the sanctuaries to get these illegals in here. Okay, if you go out front and you're going to see this, this has been one of my main platforms since I ran for Congress back in 2019, jumped right into the recall in the 2022 prime. It hasn't changed. Prison is the solution for corrupt representation. Nothing less will do. If you allow for illegal aliens, you pass sanctuary laws, you have violated your oath of office. When I look at the California State Constitution, I really encourage everyone to read it. There's some really good nuggets in there. When you look at the California State Constitution, Article 1, Section 1819, it talks about harboring. That means if you allowed your city to make these people or allow for them to stay here, you are harboring an invader. End of story. So what are we going to do about these people? Well, the governor has all these other seats that have to report to them. You've got the AG, who has 5,000 lawyers and a bunch of investigators. Why would you not start investigating expeditiously every single local city council and mayor or any other law enforcement official who fail to enforce the Constitution first, which is there to design to do one job? Your representatives have one job. It's in the Declaration of Independence. That governments are instituted among men to do one thing: secure your rights, not the alien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
This has to be a rational response. So I get your frustration, and unfortunately, they made immoral and wrong legal. So you can't go back and change the law again and then prosecute them for doing something that they did. All we can do is get them out of office. We have to expose them. We have to get them out of office. I wish it was the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. We take them behind the shed and beat the shit out of them. That's what should happen, but that can't happen. So here's the thing. Everybody wants to criticize and everybody wants to do sheriff stuff until it comes time to do sheriff shit, and then you can't do it. Here's the thing with illegal immigration. This is what we have to realize. Everything with our sanctuary state, there are federal laws that control immigration, and our federal government is broken. They have not done it. Biden didn't do it for 4 years. He created this situation for President Trump to come back in and enforce them, and now use him like he's doing something illegal and wrong, when all he is doing is enforcing immigration. Here's the thing that nobody wants to talk about, and this is where sometimes I get criticized. From a sheriff level, I despise sanctuary state. It is wrong. We did it right before 2017 when they changed it and prevented us from cooperating with ICE and deporting these illegal immigrants that are here illegally committing crimes and violating us in public. I cannot, as a law enforcement officer, have people that are here illegally, a 16-year-old girl, afraid to report to local law enforcement that she was raped because she's afraid of being deported. Local law enforcement cannot be involved in the ground level enforcement of immigration because those people will be victimized to no end, and there's nothing we would ever be able to do about it. It is absolutely morally wrong. We need to deport criminals. The federal government needs to deport the rest.
Very quick, because I don't want to repeat what's been said. We're all against the sanctuary state, insanity. The question was about holding people accountable. As governor, if there was anyone employed by the state, employed directly by the executive branch, who had a hand in a crime committed by an illegal immigrant, then they will be fired. That is a very clear piece of accountability that has to happen. But you can't fire someone who you don't employ. And so we have to be realistic about what we can do. And everyone has said the right things here. Exposure is incredibly important. The governor can have a huge role in that, in shining a spotlight on these disgusting acts by officials who put ideology ahead of the safety of the public. So when it comes to illegal immigrants and crime, that is 100% where we have to go. We have to fire anyone who is directly responsible, and then when we can't do that, we have to use the power of exposure to put pressure on them to change their behavior. And there's one final thing I'll say. We were talking about housing earlier. We wouldn't have a housing crisis if we didn't have the level of illegal immigration that we have in this state especially. These things go together. David Serper is exactly right. We have to put the needs of our people, our community first on all of these issues.
Okay, thank you. I think Sonia Green, did you have an announcement?
I do have an announcement. Do you guys mind if I make one little announcement? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do a cheer first. I'm kidding. Okay, so just to let you guys know, I appreciate all of you being here. All of you have been very gracious, and a little bit here and there, but you know what? We're all people. We're not all perfect, so I just want to thank you. With that being said, around 6:10, I have some wonderful people coming in, and we'd like to, make a donation for the church, for him believing in me and allowing me to have this event for all of you so we can see what's going on, right? So I just wanted to make that announcement. And again, also, I will probably be closing up around 6:15 because I need to make sure all of y'all eat over there. There's a lot of food now. We can't take all that back. So you go over there and eat it. Sorry, your question?
Delicious food.
Yes! Yeah, I picked the right one. His name is Jimbo. I'm a racquetball player. Okay, love you.
Okay, so we have time for one more question? Okay. All right. 2 more questions? 2 more answers. All right. All right, so I have a question, and we'll go with Hilton and Herms on this one. So we just learned through this independent state auditor that over $70 billion is unaccounted for, right? Through whatever. You can characterize it however you want, waste, fraud, abuse, whatever. What would you do on day to address that issue, as opposed to what the current administration is doing, which is basically turning a blind eye?
So the issue is waste, abuse, redundancy, and fraud, which would be what we call WARF. Now, I've been saying for several years that California probably has about 70% is waste, abuse, fraud, so on and so forth. And people told me I was crazy about 5 years ago. Now I have people calling me and texting me daily and saying, Louis, you're right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to go in there, we have to super doge California. 100%. And we're going to take it to a level that you can't possibly imagine, and we have to hold people accountable for this because it's outright theft. I can tell you I have a gentleman in the audience right now, a good friend of mine, David Kennedy, who's an that is investigating stolen school bonds from California for a long time. There's a major case that's been at the AG for the school bond $50 million to build a high school, but they put a $100 million bond up for it. Instead of taking $50 million, it takes about $75 million because the same people that finance the marketing on the bond are doing what? They're the ones that all got the contracts. And then you refinance this and put it on what I call illegal long measures of 8-9% interest, and now we are paying for what should have been a $50 million high school $150 million, $500 million. It's ridiculous. So we need to go through the whole system from the beginning to the end and take it out, and then put everything in regards to the budget itemized online for we the people to audit every single portion.
Thank you. And the question specifically as it relates to what the auditor found on the $70 billion plus.
Well, the $70 billion was the high-risk programs, and everything, as far as I'm concerned, is a high-risk program now in California because these people, this corrupt machine, has taken our money and let it be stolen, go into the pockets of their corrupt cronies. You see it with the homeless industrial complex. That was $24 billion out of the 70. You see it with CalWorks. You see it with CalFresh, the food stamps. Medicaid, $13 billion in medical spending for illegal immigrants. That's, as far as I'm concerned, fraud. On and on and on. I'm already dealing with it before I'm even elected. That's why I got together with Herb Morgan running for controller. A month ago, we set up our fraud line, califraud.com. We have had hundreds of whistleblowers sending us the places to look for the fraud. We've been going through all those details. We've been doing this work already, getting to the details of where this corruption and fraud lies. That's how we got to our total of $250 billion we announced this week. Next week, there'll be more. We do need to doge California. That is the responsibility of the governor. And here's a simple way for everyone to think about it. If you want less fraud, we need less government. Yeah. We have to take a sledgehammer to the bloated welfare state that they've built, stealing our money and stealing our future. As governor, I will rip it down.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. This next question is for Mr. Serpa, Mr. Mercury, and Sheriff Bianco. From Angela Salinardi from Huntington Beach. As a person who practices holistic health, after seeing the damage that the current Western medicine protocol caused my family, I would like to know your stance on medical freedom and allowing the people to choose how they heal their bodies and their children.
Okay, great question. So one of the things that the treasurer is responsible for is not just education, economic development, but his health. And so the way that we finance all of this, we spend the second most amount in the country, the California taxpayer does, than any other private entity towards directly spending on health. What I think that we need to do in order to drive the cost down is we need to kick the FDA out of California. We need to get rid of a lot of the federal oversight and allow for just state oversight. Because we have too much redundancy in too many different organizations where we've already got a state entity, but then we have a federal entity doubling up on that. And so what it ends up becoming is when you're trying to bring a drug to market, it ends up becoming a pay-to-play system. And so by developing a truly private system where people can be snake oil salesmen, because if we find a snake oil that cures cancer, fantastic. Our industry right now is set up not to cure diseases, but to treat them, because that's where the money is. And so what we need to do is we need to have complete and total medical freedom by getting rid of the FDA, but then I also want to bring back the public hospital. I want to get to a surplus here in the state of California so that we can show people that not only can we pay for infrastructure, not only can we pay for education, but we will actually save money by getting involved in healthcare and taking on the direct corrupt pharmaceutical companies and Pfizer and everyone else that has been laundering our money while keeping us sick.
Thank you, Mr. Serpa.
One of the biggest reasons why I always start off with the Constitution is because I want you to understand where my answers come from. They don't just come from, I'm just pulling it out of thin air. And it's because it's where your power is derived from, right? Government derives their just power from the consent of the governed. That means your status is above government at all times. I'm not here to lead you. I don't want to lead you. I don't care to lead you. We don't need new leaders. We need new servants. I'm here to serve you. So one of the things when it comes to our health is that's actually an abrogation, or it's a violation of the General Welfare Clause as well as the Necessary Proper Clause, which is Article 1, Section 8, Clause 18. There's 18 authoritative powers. Controlling the behavior of the people is not one of them, which means your health is up to you. And when it comes to the General Welfare Clause, well, that basically was Adams and Hamilton when they debated on taxation and congressional spending. Had nothing to do with your health. In fact, if I look at American jurisprudence, I know a lot of you read that. When you look at American jurisprudence under 16, I think it's volume A or whatever, you'll notice in section 98, it says that no emergency has just cause to suppress the Constitution or the Constitution of the United States. That means the government should have worked around your rights, not tell you to mask up, not tell you to sit there and stand 6 feet apart. It was not in your favor. So in my administration, medical freedom is going to be paramount in this state, and we're going to get rid of the childhood vaccinations under SB 276 and 277. And this is what I stand on. It's medical freedom and ensuring that California is going to be medically free. Thank you.
I think you're straight a little bit from the original question, but medical care and medical health, I will tell you, this is your governor, there will not be a mandate for vaccines ever again. You will not have to vaccinate your kids to get them into school. We have to absolutely realize that we are now learning from the doctors, the nurses, the scientists, and everything else that we've been lied to for years. We've been lied to about vaccines, about the safety of vaccines. We've been lied to about the food that we are eating. And we have to realize that we have all been pawns in a money-making scheme for other people. It didn't come out today, but it's being broadcast all over today because Kennedy testified about it yesterday. 70%, so look around the room, 70% of America is suffering from disease. 70%. And let me tell you something, we're here in a church. God didn't do this. God didn't give us genetic disorder last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. We have done it to ourselves because we listened to a lying government that told us what to eat, told us what we had to do, told us we had to inject things into our bodies, told us we had to do all of these things, and we have been lied to so other people made money. I pay $2,900, almost $3,000 a month for health insurance. We have it. My family hasn't been to the doctor in 20 years, and I only went then because I blew out my knee and somebody had to fix it for me. We don't eat what people tell us to eat. She and I eat nothing but red meat, and it's only been red meat for the last 3 years, and we are perfectly healthy. We need to be responsible for ourselves, and we need to be truthful about how we got here. And as governor, we will not have these ridiculous health mandates. We will not have. You all had either 8 or 12 vaccinations. Some of you are young, so I can't see them. Right now, 72. Absolutely ridiculous. That ends with me as your governor, and they're still pushing it, even though they know that they are harming us.
Thank you.
We need to take care of ourselves.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Sonia Green.
Okay, so guys, I hope that you got to hear some really good responses and information. You had a question, sir?
Yeah, I do. I have a question for all the candidates.
Okay, we're out of time. Yeah, we're out. 20-second answer? 10 seconds.
So I saw in Southern California Instagram account that 50% of investors have bought the Palisade Fire homes in their land. I also want to know, what would you guys do to combat Blackstone for buying over, in 10 years from now, 70% they'll own over 70% of single-family homes?
Well, that's a good question.
Hey, look, President Trump just tweeted the other day that he's going to ban corporations from buying homes because homes are for families. The other thing that he did was cap credit card interest at 10%. President Trump is standing up for us right now and making it more possible for young people to buy, pay off debt, and move into the future. Thank you.
One different answer in regards to the Palisades specifically, because Serpa's right. I'm the only one that has the solution to prevent the Palisades land grab. It's been on my website. I was at the Palisades on August 12th. It's an actual affidavit that people can sign to say, I am securing my land. I did not leave it via fire. I am not abandoning my land. And it works because they file it with the LA County. It goes on the title. It cannot be stolen. And all you need is about one out of every 4 properties in Palisades to do that. And they cannot grab the land because they cannot build contiguously. That's a solution.
Very good.
It's already there.
20 seconds. I'll just keep it, so we all get 20 seconds. So 20 seconds, you're asking what would we do to kind of fight back. Basically, again, I can go back to the state constitution. It prevents us from anybody coming in and buying up natural resources or anything that is damaged. And so right there is a preventative measure that the governor can take to ensure that corporations don't come in and take advantage of somebody who is unfortunately going through a horrible event. Right there. There you go.
Steve Hilton.
All right. I was there in the Palisades this week. I am with you. It is disgusting what is being done there and right across our state. Here's the answer. Yes, we end the corporate ownership. As has been mentioned, the president's already leading on that. We have to end the war on single-family homes. Telling everyone to live in apartments, no parking, use transit. That's not the California dream. That is the death of the California dream. We need to be the death of that ideology and restore the California dream and restore single-family home ownership for young people in particular who deserve that right.
Thank you very much. This will conclude. Do we have someone? Oh my my bad. Sorry.
It's going to be less than 20 seconds. I guarantee you those answered your questions. You have the same answers. We all have the same answers because it's common sense. We have to get rid of this agenda that does not want private home ownership or private business ownership. And it only happens if we win this election. We have one chance. One chance. And historically, Democrats are going to do everything they can to keep us out of this election and make sure that it's 2 Democrats going to November. If we run the same campaign that we've run for the last 20 years, we're going to lose by the same numbers. We are sacrificing ourselves and our families to be up here doing this and traveling this state. And I'm going to put it back on all of you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to make sure we win? Because this is our election to lose, and we absolutely must save our state.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much. I want to let you know, please go to each candidate's website, take a look at it, make sure you donate. Also, if you want to get on the email list for Patriots for Freedom Club, please go to RSVP, or if you have another question, that's fine too. If you have not received a ballot when you first came in, go to the RSVP where you registered as well and just cast your vote that way, and we'll tally it up. I promise. We won't have any Dominion machines. I promise. Okay. So, and also I want to let you know, make sure that you know that the ballot box are out front. If you have your hard ballot, drop it off in there. Again, please give each and every single one of these brave men a round of applause. I am so honored.
Wow, so this was quite the event. Would you like to make a comment on your thoughts to the audience? No?
I'm not photogenic, so you guys get up here.
You're too shy. Okay, I got it. So, wow, pretty significant event. These candidates are, hang on, we're going to get a picture of these guys.
Is Jim Broughton here?
There we go. Let's take a look at what's going on all around us. There we go. All right. So I've got somebody I want to talk to as we speak. Let's see. Okay.
For anyone that has ever been at my events in the past, there is one closing song that I do.
Excuse me.
Would you like to hear it?
Hey, what are you doing, Kim?
People of the world today, are we looking for a better
I'm
way
live.
of life?
I'd love to get your input.
My input. Chad Bianca's done. He's a condescending prick.
Okay, tell me your thoughts. Tell me
Chad
why.
Bianca's a condescending, elitist nonsense merchant, and he needs to step down. The way he dealt with those questions was puerile in the extreme. Steve Hilton, he's not going to back down. He's not going to second guess his commanders on the ground. So if there was a Nazi rally and all those police officers were Zeke Eiling, he wouldn't step in and stop them. Well, that's exactly what Chad Bianca did. He knelt for a radical, disgusting ideology that killed over 100 million people in the 20th century alone. And then he's telling us he didn't. He's trying to gaslight us. That guy needs to step down. Steve Hilton, he's supposed to be a British historian, but he's not even. He doesn't even know about Auchinleck and Wawel in World War II, who Winston Churchill told to step down because they were destroying North Africa. Steve Hilton's done, as far as I'm concerned. That Mercurio guy, is that what you call him?
Daniel Mercury.
He's the most knowledgeable on the Constitution. He's a veteran, and I think he needs to step up. He needs more. He needs more. What's the word I'm looking for? Exposure.
All right. So your vote tonight would be for Daniel Mercury.
Yeah, and Bianca and Hilton, I was on the fence about. Not anymore. They can get lost.
All right. Decision made. Bianca out, Hilton out, and Daniel Mercury in.
That's right.
All right. What's the one thing you see would impact the state if Daniel Mercury is in the position of governor?
I think we'd have a more constitutional grounding. I don't think he would be on for vaccine mandates at all, and I think once he swears an oath to the Constitution of the United States, which he has before, I think that would be his first priority. That's one of the reasons I want to vote for him, because we'd have a constitutional California, and at the moment we don't. We're being run by communists.
Okay, got it. So as an FYI, we are live right now to all of my audience. My phone is taking its own pictures. Normally, my phone doesn't take pictures unless I press the button, but it's actually taking pictures as we go, which I find very interesting.
Right.
Very interesting. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate your stand for freedom. You show up to a lot of communities here, locally, and you fight, and you've been fighting for a long time.
Yeah.
Any final words to the people out there in the state of California?
Yeah, do your research. Chad Bianca today said that we don't do our research, that we don't know anything about our judges, but it's the judiciary we need to watch. All these activist judges all over the United States that are trampling all over the executive branch. We need to really look into our judges, and we need to know who we're voting for. So that's what I would say. Look into your judiciary. Make sure you vote for the right judges. Make sure you do your research.
Appreciate you so much. And your name again?
Dom McGee.
Dom McGee? Dom, where are you from?
From Yorkshire in England.
And you've been here how long?
25 years. I came on vacation, never went home.
We love that you're here in America. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
San Marco. Yeah, I was doing media.
Warriors in the house. Warriors in the house. Let's get a picture. Oh, I love you. Okay, hold on. I'm going to get a picture of you guys. Hey.
Patriots.
All right. All right, guys. So I'm live. Oh, yeah, I'm live. So what's your take on tonight? Give me your feedback.
I thought it was good. I was just happy that Bianco showed up because he's been dodging these things. So he finally showed up, had a few things to say. It was good to see him out there along with Steve Hilton on the same stage. But I'll tell you what, the other guys, the lesser-known folks, David Serpa, Daniel Mercury, Louis Herms, are all solid. They all have good platforms. I think they would all be good for the state. The issue is, are they electable? Can they get elected? Do they have the name recognition? Do they have the money? So we'll see. But it was really good. It was a good follow-up to the big event that we had down in San Diego with the showdown earlier in November. So it was good to see the candidates out there. And also the big thing that I saw, that I noticed, that they are indicating that they will coalesce around one candidate. So if they aren't going to be the winner themselves, they are willing to kind of be a team player and support the other candidates. So that was good to see.
Patriot Kelly, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. Good seeing you.
Good to see you. Greg, what's your take?
I can say I agree. I thought Serpa crushed it. I was really impressed with Daniel Mercury. I was a little disappointed when Mercury said he wouldn't coalesce behind. But I thought otherwise. And first time I saw Bianca on stage, and I thought he did a good job. Actually, you think about it, they all have certain skill sets.
Yeah.
If you could just take that from him and take that from him and take that from him.
Put it all together into one.
What was great is I got so much great media clips for us to put out on the Launch America First. And we'll start getting some money behind the winning candidates and we'll start promoting them.
Yeah, baby, because we are taking our California back. Yes, we are. So good. Greg, thank you. And what is your input on tonight?
I was pleased to see the 5 candidates on stage. I would have liked to see Scott Shields here. I think he's a quality candidate.
Scott.
I've to see GOP governors, potential governor candidates. I think David Serpa's very smart, and I like a lot on his platform. Of course, we've got Steve. He's got a good base, good MAGA backing, good vehicle through his time on Fox. I hadn't seen Sheriff Bianco yet. I was pleased to have him here and see him and hear what he has to say. There's a lot to be said for having a law enforcement guy at the head of the state of California, because we've got to root out the corruption in the state. I'm very concerned with the fact that we haven't had a Republican senator from the state of California since 1992. That's pathetic. The candidate that wins this governorship can rule the executive branch by replacing the people at the top that have been frauding the citizens of California. And but we've got to change the electorate in the Senate, in the state, and in each House seat in the state.
That's right.
And but we really need to get another senator from the state of California. in to help on the federal basis.
Come on.
To swing it, because we're underrepresented by the decent people in this state, and it's this team's going to work together. Who's ever going to get elected, they're going to back each other. I've talked to them all. I know that, and that's what's going to take.
Come on, that's what it's going to take. Come on.
God bless this state. We're
and your
taking
name
it back.
again. Your name
Michael
again.
Trika. We're
Come
taking
on,
the state
Michael
back.
Trika. We are taking California back.
God bless.
So good. Guys, I'm going to take a quick picture with all of you guys. Hey guys, let me get a picture with you.
I will. Hey.
And Kelly, pop in here. I got us. Awesome. Guys, so good. God bless America. So good. Guys, so we are here in Gardena, California. We've got warriors throughout the house. Oh, sorry.
Your Monday things?
Yes.
Because I haven't.
Every Monday,
You're
3
not
o'clock.
getting the texts from you anymore. Did you?
What about the email?
Michael Trika.
Are you not in my email?
No, I've been kind of busy. I got
Okay, check. That's why I'm always there in healing in Jesus'
They can't
name.
cancel me.
Healing in Jesus' name. You are not canceled. Monday, 3 o'clock. Okay? Yes, you are. Warrior for God.
Are you still filming?
Yes. Come on. All right, guys, let's go get a couple of more interviews right now. Stand by. Hi. Hi, ladies. Hello. Oh my gosh. Hello. It's good to see you. I would love to get you. Look beautiful and stunning, by the way. I'd love to get your input tonight. What was your take on the debate?
My take on the debate is that people really need to attend these because there's more candidates than these. And we have to hear from them personally, and we have to ask them questions. Because there's a lot of things, like I was hearing controversies about him, Bianco kneeling with BLM, and so some of his people said he had been praying with them. And some people said, no, he's allowed to do that because that's his First Amendment right. So you're allowed to come here and address that and ask him personally, make up your own mind, because we need to get the best guy up there. We need to get the best guy, because if we split all the votes, then it's going to be 2 Democrats in that jungle primary. And we have to be smart and strategic. That's what I have to say.
So good feedback. And here's the great thing, is there's footage from, for the past, 10, 15 years, you can go back and look. Just don't get the word of what they say and the word of the people around you. Go do the research for yourself.
And then a lot of people said, well, Hilton's a dual citizen, and he just said that he is now just an American citizen.
Yeah, he just gave that up.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that people are just hearing things, but if you've got to hear it from the horse's mouth, right?
Yes.
The truth. You got to seek for the truth.
Seek for the truth, and then do your research to make sure.
Absolutely.
You know, the Bible says test the spirit.
Test the spirit.
Test the spirit.
And we got to test. There's lots of spirits in
That's
Sacramento.
right. Come on, girl. You're amazing. And tell us your name.
Dana Perry.
Dana Perry. You're a
Americans.
Come on. Okay, you too. Hello. Kelly Huff in there. Gotcha. So good, you guys. So good.
Make California great and golden again.
That's right.
Stop voting for the Communist Democratic Party.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Let me get a picture with all of you guys. Ready? Hop in, everybody. Hop in. 1, 2, and 3. Got us. Woohoo! All right, I'd love to get your feedback, guys. What was your take? What stood out to you most tonight? Who is the candidate that you really believe brought the truth to the light, or really could take that stand for the governor of California?
I was impressed with Hilton, but I was also really impressed with McCurry, or is it Mercury?
Mercury, yeah.
Mercury.
Daniel
I
Mercury.
thought, he is amazing with his stand on the Constitution and his knowledge of the laws. So I really like him. I don't know if he has the name recognition to get elected, but I really like him. Sherpa said some things I don't like. He stood up for Bianco, that's taken a lot of heat for the him kneeling for BLM, and I'm sorry, it was a kneeling for BLM, and I just don't believe that any police officer all of them would kneel and be unprotected in that moment for a bunch of communists that want to pray for them, that are godless. They hate God, and so I just don't believe it. And there was just some things that Sherpa said that I like in a lot of positions, but some of them I didn't like forgiving all the student debt and things like that. And I like the other guy, I don't know his name, Lewis, I think his name was. But I liked a bunch of the things that he said too, but I don't know who he is, but he had a lot of common sense positions. I kind of liked, one guy gets in for governor and appoints these guys to do whatever, start cleaning up the mess.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a dream team of people to come in and help California, I think, if one of them got in and elected or, not elected, appointed.
The dream team, I got you.
Yeah.
And
just like Trump has. Karen, Adeline.
Karen, thanks so much for a very insightful look at the debate.
Okay,
you're
welcome.
amazing.
Okay.
Thank you. Mike Netter.
Hello, Kim. How the heck are you? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. And for everybody out there, no, I don't, because I amplify the voice of the people. In case you don't know it, my name is Mike Netter, and you can follow me, for starters, on my X feed, where the White House retweeted me this morning, along with Dan
Wow,
Bongino.
that is... wow, come on.
Netter Mike. I'm deadly serious, okay? And it isn't simply because, obviously, it's not because of my good looks, and many of you right now
Well,
are
you're
just
quite
listening to the
handsome.
audio, okay? So here's the thing. Everyone out there, whatever you do, make sure that you vote. I want you to vote Republican, but you've got to vote for one of these candidates. Kim, you know who the biggest party is in California?
Who's the biggest party?
It's the party of apathy. And let's cut through it, okay? Bottom line is, at the end of the day, less than a third of the voters will even bother to show up and vote for either party. Let me ask you a question. Everybody likes water. Nobody wants to pay too much for electricity. And unless you own a tent company, which I'm hoping you don't, you're probably not for the homeless. So at the end of the day, here's the thing. You know something is wrong, and here's what I'm going to tell you. No things need to be changed. Get out there and change things. Start with a vote. The next thing you need to do, even on social media, wherever you go, did you know you could take any message for your favorite candidate and you could send it out to 500 people a day, and you could send it out all at once in your BCC, because your email will allow you to do it. So, if you don't feel like leaving your living room, getting out of your house in any manner, use electronic, become a digital advocate, but whatever you do, get off your posterior, get out there and do something about it. Thank
Mike Netter. Love you, Mike. Let me get a quick photo with you, Mike. Hang on one second. Let's get a quick photo. Yes. All right, great work. Daniel.
Oh, okay, one more.
Please send it for Daniel. Yes.
Okay, now me. Okay, give me.
Okay, one more. Sis comes right
Danielle, I
now.
want to grab you in a second. We are live, and I'd like to get a couple minutes with you.
Come on, sis, go.
Hi, Karen.
That one's my phone. Okay. Yes.
I did. Danielle, all right, this was a pretty big night. I have to tell you, just the people I've talked to have been saying Daniel Mercury. Literally, that's the feedback I'm getting tonight. So what was that experience for you? And I want you to give me your lowdown. You heard from every candidate. There were some questions that were asked that were heated questions tonight. Is there any truth that you held back on, that you didn't speak, that you wish you had the opportunity to either point out or speak about?
Yeah, I wanted to point out one of the things with the sheriff, and that was that, again, and it was actually brought up in one of the side-by-side videos that I have where, he doesn't want to have somebody who isn't illegal that might be engaged in or fell prey to a crime, and that, he doesn't want to involve anybody to, unfortunately, subject them to being deported. The problem with that, though, is it's a violation of your oath. And so when you hear sentences or you hear phrasings that say, well, we at the street level can't engage in, street level immigration at the local level because it's a federal job. That's a lie. And the reason why it's a lie is because your oath of office, when we all swear, as I did when I was in the military, I do solemnly swear to support and defend and uphold what first? The Constitution. So your Constitution binds you to first and foremost uphold the laws. You don't get to pick and choose what laws you want to enforce based off an emotional win because it doesn't fit your narrative. And it also proved that he's engaging in selective law enforcement, and that's actually illegal. And so when we say, well, it's not our responsibility, well, that's pointing the finger. So again, there's an inconsistency there, and it really comes down to understanding the Constitution. And when I listen to sheriffs or law enforcement or medical practitioners, and they say certain things that are not true, that's where I want to get up and I want to say, wait a second, the laws are clear and concise here, so you have to uphold that. And so wherever the federal government usually does handle, like ICE agents handle deportation and enforce, Title 28 and all those sections I talked about earlier tonight, and the Constitution on Article 8, Section 8, Clause 4, the highest authority of the county is required, if not demanded, to fill in the gaps where federal government fails to perform their duties. He's demanded by the people and by his constituents because he's the oddity to the state constitution because he's voted in by the people. So again, you don't get to sit there and say, well, listen, I feel for people. Yes, every sheriff should still enforce the law, still figure out who it was, but that individual can be protected to a time until the crime is then administered and solved, and then the person has to be deported. End of story. That's upholding and securing the rights of the people first. That's why I say I'm America first, and I'm California first, and I'm also America only and California only. And what do I mean by only? It means if it doesn't adhere or if it doesn't benefit we Californians, I'm not doing it. If it does not benefit we Americans as only, like it's not going to be to our benefit, I'm not going to do it. This is why I talk about only, and that's what I mean behind that, and I didn't hear that come out of him. Instead, I heard something contradictory, and that's just where I stand.
Well, Daniel Mercury, I appreciate you so much. Way to be a stand for truth. Now, I want you to talk to the audience right now. Oh, look at these guys together. I'm coming to you too, Hilton. So how do you feel like he did? How do you feel like he did?
Great, because he knows his stuff. Very impressive.
He does. Come on. Awesome job. Let me go grab Hilton real quick. Great work. Great work. That was awesome.
You know what? I wanted to say the same thing to you. I was going to tell you, you know what I forgot on Chuck Bianco? One of the things I really didn't like is when he said our immigration system is broken and that he was only going to support deporting criminal illegal aliens. I picked up on that. He's not for mass deportation. And so I was like, yeah.
Gentlemen,
I don't know yet.
I want to say hello. Hey!
Hey, shit. How you doing? Good to see
Shit!
you.
Is that how I get welcomed with shit?
Oh, perfect. So,
Take a sec with you guys in a second. Hi, you are stunningly beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
What is your name?
My name is Kira.
Hi, Kira. What did you think about tonight?
What?
What did you think about tonight?
Oh, I thought it was great.
Yeah, and who would you be voting for?
I'm part of the Bianco campaign.
The Bianco campaign. I got it. You're part. What is your name?
My name is Kira.
Kira. It's Kira.
Kira.
Kira. Great to meet you. I'm gonna pop over here real quick. Hi guys, I'd love to get your input. We are live right now. Hello, USA. Hello. Okay, so what was your take on tonight? What stood out to you? What was missing from the candidates? Was there anything that was missing tonight that you're like, man, they didn't nail it in that area, and I wanted clarity in that area?
Everything was fantastic for me. It was an opportunity to hear from other candidates, which was a blessing. Now, it gives me a little more information and also the ability to really fine-tune who God wants in office. I'll put it that way.
Praise God.
So it was a blessing for me personally.
Fantastic.
Great response from everyone.
Yes.
Sonia did a great job putting this together.
She did an amazing job.
It was such a blessing.
Yes.
What really stood out with me is how they were for the children. You know, they're our future for for tomorrow. How they were really geared on, we have to protect our children.
Yes.
No matter what, the world says, we have to protect our children.
Yes,
if we
we
don't,
do.
who will protect them? Because they're innocent.
That's right. That's right.
Bishop Bill Oliver is my first lady, Bernadette Oliver, and we're from
It was a
So good, you guys. And what are your names?
Beautiful
Bishop
event.
Bill Oliver, and this is First Lady
Lady
Bernadette
Oliver.
Oliver.
God bless
from the
you guys.
Revelation of Christ Church.
Yes.
Thank God for Sonia for that as well.
Woo! Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. She did amazing. Thank you so much.
Question.
Yes. Yes.
I'm with the barbershop course that David talked about before. Just wondering if you have any other things coming up, or did you think about it?
You're going to text me. You're going to text me.
you
Let me
and
grab
remind
these guys
you.
real quick.
Obligation, man, to fucking vet you.
Okay, guys, you're live. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can we go live right now? I want to know what you really think. I don't want the bullshit. I want to know what you really think. All right, so Tony, let's start with you first.
No,
both
he's
of
a
you guys,
young
and
guy
I loved your question.
He's a young guy that I just ran into, so why don't you start with him? Go ahead.
Okay.
I would say David, I don't know how to say his last name.
Serpa.
I think David Serpa is the Republican Party. He's going to be the future of it. And that, I was told I was the future. He's the future.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you in a second why he's not. All right. Yeah. So, hey, good to see you. So, what I've learned
yes, Tony,
is now being up close and personal like I was, asking the questions rather than being home on TV, watching it and throwing shit at the TV, getting pissed off, right? Or even shooting the television. Elvis used to do that. So, I have seen for myself, up front and personal, up close, that they dodge the questions. It's the same thing. They're all slippery.
Yep.
They just dodge. They manipulate. They twist, and nobody ever answers the question directly the way asked, right? And it's frustrating because so for me to walk away with that now, it just confirms everything. It just confirms everything, and it's depressing because you don't have somebody up there yet that really kicks you in the balls with their answers. You know.
You don't think he came with that heat? I think he was the only one.
Okay, heat is one thing. Talking tough and shouting and beating your chest is one thing. But but the problem is too many people buy into that and don't do the research and dig and dig and dig. They find what they really believe, and I've done that all the time.
Yes.
So that's the problem.
So I got a question for you. When are you running?
That's funny. Yeah.
No, I'm serious. There are 44 positions open right now. I said it the other day. Tony needs to run.
Yeah.
You need to run. We need you. You know what the problem is.
I'm not a campaign type guy. I mean, if somebody gave me the seat and said, "Okay, Tony, you're going to run this," you know, if it was a seat with a big enough impact, I mean, of course I would think about it, right? I'm the kind of person that doesn't wave my hand and say, "Pick me." If somebody dragged me to do it and said, "Do it for your country," the way George Washington did, right? He was dragged. George Washington was dragged. Dwight Eisenhower, they were dragged.
Do it for your country. I'm dragging him right now. We need you.
You tell me what you have in mind.
Okay.
Right.
We got some key positions that are open. Okay.
Right.
Love you. I got to come for dinner.
Thanks. I miss Tina Peters.
I know.
Think about her all
Be
the time.
praying.
Post about her. I talk about her.
Keep me praying. I know. That's what we need. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Hang on. Quick picture with you guys. Quick picture. Ready?
Where do we turn
Hang
these
on.
in? I have a stack. You got a stack? I have a stack there. Where do we turn them in?
Gotcha.
See right there? It says vote. Right
Thanks,
there.
guys.
Okay. There's like 4 of them. Okay. Four of those boxes.
Hey, okay. I would love to get your input. You helped put this event together. You're a rock star. I'm Kim Yeater from the Take Your Power Back show. I led the governor's showdown.
Oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous.
I takes it amazing.
You're gorgeous.
Oh, you're so gorgeous, girl. You did a phenomenal job. You put the power in the people's hands. You got, there were real questions asked of the governor candidates, right? So, how do you feel? How do you feel it went?
I feel fantastic about this. This was honestly God-led. So I give everything to God first, including my state. So what I wanted to do was present something where everybody has a chance to be heard. This will be first of the 3 events that I'll be putting on because we want to make sure we're getting the right one and we want to get behind the top 2 candidates, right? We want to take the state back. So it was just a great insight, I think, for me, and just through prayers and wanting to put something like this together. So God gets all the glory and praise.
Done. And when's our next one?
Well, it's going to be in the making. I'm going to try to fill it out a little bit, but it's probably going to be within the next 3 months.
Let's touch base so that maybe you and I will coordinate together. I have another big event coming up.
Okay.
We missed you at the showdown.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know about it until that
Isn't
day.
that funny?
It is.
It's okay. Maybe we'll coordinate something together.
Absolutely.
All right, let me get a picture with you real quick.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
Jesus rocks. Jesus rocks. Got us.
Amen.
Amen.
I love you so much. Hugs.
Love you too.
All right. Mwah. And you're absolutely gorgeous.
I got you. Come on. Come on. Hi.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Tell me your name again.
Doug Wooding.
Doug, where did we meet?
Probably at Basoto's.
Yes.
Italian restaurant.
Yes. What was your thought about tonight?
I thought it was very interesting. I liked it when there's a lot of kind of interaction between the candidates rather than just answering the questions. So what my buddy Tony over there did, I think was very...
Yeah, it was good.
Very impressive.
So he needs to run.
Oh, okay, so...
Yeah, he needs to run. So we're going to have a conversation because we need him.
Yeah.
He knows what it is
during
to
the
suffer.
recall election, I wrote him in. So.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Come here.
got one vote so far.
Tell me your name again.
Doug Wooding.
Doug Wooding. I think I met you with Tina Peters at Basilicos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had just done an event with Tina.
Yeah. And she's still
She is, and we're going to cancel that right now in the name of Jesus. She needs to come out. She needs to be set free.
Yeah.
I know President Trump is going after that.
I've been reading about her. I've been keeping up on what's going on with her. It's terrible what they're doing to her.
Yeah. So God willing, there will be an emergency order on elections, and then Tina will be one of those whistleblowers that will be pulled out.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So good to see you. Hey, so who are you voting for? Anyone in this room?
I'm not going to say yet.
All right, that's okay. Mom is the word. Good to see you. All right, gentlemen, give me the lowdown on the spot. What was your take on tonight? You're biased. You're a Serpa guy. Yeah. So you think he brought it tonight?
Yeah, he did great. Obviously, I think he stood out, head and shoulders above the rest, literally and figuratively. But you might want to ask Mr. Collenberg here.
All right, Mr. David Collenberg running for governor.
I agree. So I'm here watching, and I will say I think David Serpa definitely stood out. Louis Herm stood out. I hate to say it, but the top two were a little weak tonight, and the other candidates kicked their ass.
And watch out, these candidates are about to head out up to Shasta. So on January 15th, we have a big event in Shasta. Guys, this is so exciting because we've got all the candidates on stage, and they will be there at the ROV on the 15th. And the reason why they're there is because they are bringing the awakening to the election reform that needs to happen. You heard about election integrity. Tonight, we need election transparency and election reform, because what we just saw tonight, if we all went to vote, nothing would happen. Why? Because the elections are still stolen, and it's time for we the people to take our power back. Yes? Our God-given power back. Come on. All right, let's pop over here real quick. That's David.
Okay, are you cooking at home?
See?
Okay, tell me
yes.
How you're cooking at home that's cheaper than fast food. It's basic. I mean, you can get like basic. Because I have a family of 7, and I can tell you that for me to buy 3 pizzas for my family, it's a lot cheaper to buy 3 pizzas out than it is for me to cook them from home. What about Mexican food? Let's talk about Mexican food too. Let's talk about Mexican food.
I would say to you that whatever food stuff you
Tuesday taco night is going to be a lot more affordable for my family than it is cooking tacos at home.
But see, the solution there isn't to you're not. I believe in individual responsibility and freedom, and it's up to individuals if they want to get a credit card, and the credit card is 29%. I have a credit card at a credit union; it's 11%.
Okay, great.
So there
for
it is.
You. Great for you. How old are you?
I'm 45.
45
I had it when I was 25.
I'm 40 years old. And the thing is the difference. What are you paying right now for your mortgage, for your rent?
So that's a little personal, but it's above 1,000.
Above 1,000. But the thing is I used to be able to rent a room for $400 or $500 a month.
These are the problems with your existing government.
All right, we're moving on now. We're moving on out. You did a great job. Hey. All right, let's go over here. Chip. All right, Chip. What was your take? How did he do tonight?
I don't want to do any interviews.
No interviews right now. All right. Well, we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna ignore that. All right. Okay, guys. Here we go. Let's see what we got. All right, so we are here at a very special event. This is our opportunity to, let me actually turn this around so that you can see it. It's our opportunity to vote. Vote, because your vote and your voice matter. Get your votes on in. So we are coming to a time where your voice gets to be heard. You get to speak up. You get to stand up. You get to say, this is the candidate that I'm voting for. But it's going to be key that you do your research. You've got to do your research. Do not just believe what they say. The Bible says to test the spirit. You want to dig deep. You want to do that research. Get the truth so that you know what's really going on. Okay? You deserve the truth. Got a great list, a great group up there, and there are those that were not here tonight. Get ready for January 15th in Shasta. We are meeting there for a press conference at 10 a.m. in Shasta. ROV. We're doing a walkthrough, election reform transparency, and at 6 o'clock that night, we're going to do a governor debate. So you want to be there. Hey, Arthur Shaper, how are you?
Shopper.
Arthur Shaper.
Are you with local news or your own
So
media?
this is my own media.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so hey, what was your take on tonight? I've seen you posting all those pictures of Hilton hugging Bianco.
That's a.
So are
you mean Newsom?
Newsom. Okay, no. Hilton hug. That was funny.
I wish they would hug each other.
Tell me about that.
So, the thing for me is I supported Chad Bianco positively. No negatives on anybody. I love Dan Mercury. Steve Hilton's a great writer, great speaker. Bianco got elected twice in a blue county. That's a big deal, and he's a Republican. He opened up a one-stop shop for concealed carry. Riverside County was a shall-issue county when he got elected. In fact, he defeated a Rhino incumbent who wouldn't issue CCWs. That's part of the reason he got elected. He's not giving himself enough credit for that. I respect that. He's got to focus on the issues everybody cares about. He resisted the health mandates. That's a big deal for me. He was interviewed by Reason Magazine saying, look, I'm not responsible for your health. You take care of your health. It's not my job to be your mommy. And he risked funding for that. So that's leadership. It's always been positive. But some of the Hilton people, they keep strumming that empty narrative of he took a knee to Black Lives Matter the same way Nancy Pelosi did, like bowing down to them. He prayed with them. And how I know this, independent reporter, a gun owner, podcaster, I can send you the video if you give me your card. He did his own analysis of the entire encounter. Not only did he kneel, but the Black Lives Matter, they knelt with him. They knelt together. So he wasn't kneeling to them, they knelt together. So that doesn't make sense right away. And then you had Black Lives Matter, the deputies were standing, and they said to the sheriff, why aren't they kneeling? The sheriff literally says on camera, I can't make them pray. They were praying. That's the thing. And the Hilton people, I'm not saying Hilton's doing it, they're lying. And they're saying, well, he took a knee to Black Lives Matter, he counts out. That's simply not true. Now, I know the sheriff probably said a few months later, bad optics. I don't care. He tried to prevent a city from being burned down. Again, I have positive reasons why I support Bianco. I would say to the Hilton people, the Mercury people, do you have a positive reason I should support your guy? Because Mercury fought for health freedom. God bless him. Bianco actually accomplished it as an elected official. That's what I'm looking for, results. And you saw me talking with Mr. Serpa. I got to tell you, I'm concerned now when I hear nationalist and populist, but I'm hearing Marxist responses. He wants to capping credit card interest rates. It sounds nice, but you know what that does? Poor people who they're trying to get credit. So if you force companies to lower the credit card rate, guess what? Then they don't get credit cards at all. So what do poor people have to do, or working people? They have to go to check into cash, or they have to go to Loan Shark. It makes it worse. I don't believe in robbing people of their individual abilities or their freedom. We have to let people be responsible for themselves. If the economy sucks, then people have to use their money properly. He was claiming that, well, if people are using their credit to go to fast food, why are you buying fast food? You should be buying regular food. You can buy cheap meat. You can find a way. So it's like there's a real problem there, and I wanted to confront him on it. And I was there talking with people. He mentioned nationalizing oil or nationalizing healthcare. I'm like, wait a minute, that's communistic. And that's something that's starting to concern me, that Republicans are starting to embrace some of these Marxist concepts on an economic level. And I had to confront him on it. That was a problem for me. And so we went back and forth, and I don't think he made the case very well, but at least we were able to have the dialogue.
All right. Thank you for having that dialogue. Thank you for just sharing it. Is there anything else you want the people to know today?
I really think Chad Bianco is our best choice. However, the polling suggests that 2 Republicans can make it to the top 2, and it looks like Hilton's the other one. I have no problem. The Hilton people should be strong for Hilton. The Bianco people should be strong for Bianco. The other Republicans should choose, and then we get 2 Republicans in the top 2. I think it can be done, and we'll have a Republican governor.
Arthur Shopper.
Shopper.
Thanks so much, Arthur Shopper. God bless you, and may you make the best choice.
Do you have a card?
Yes, I do. So I think you and I are connected.
We probably are on Facebook as friends or something, perhaps. So Thank you so much. Yes, we are.
Hi.
How are you?
It's good to see you.
I couldn't make it to San Diego, but I appreciate you inviting me.
Oh, it was an amazing event.
I'm
next
sure it was.
showdown. So we're in Shasta next week.
Shasta. Oh yeah, I definitely can't make that one. It's a lot of fun.
I'll keep you posted. God bless. Ladies, would you like to comment on tonight and your experience?
Oh, hi. Well, I am Christine with California Family Law Naked Truth.
I've seen you. It's so good to meet you. I'm Kim Yeater with the Take Your Power Back show.
Hi. How are
Your
you?
smile's awesome. Awesome. Okay, Christine, here's my card. You and I are going to get connected. Drop me a text.
Yes.
So why don't you tell me, what was your take tonight? Is there anything that was missing for you, like the presence of that which would have made a significant difference in you saying yes to a candidate?
So what was important to us is we put out a question to each of the candidates regarding the corruption in the family court system. That's what we're here for. Oh, no. So not one person really answered the question. Yes. But we are spending time with 2 candidates. We're going to do segments on them. And we are going to ask the deeper questions.
Good.
Because we want the people to have someone in office who is really here for the people, not any other reason. And nobody has been. So the corruption in the family court is very well known. I don't know if you know, we served on December 17th 6 judges from Orange County. Yes. And we have 2 more that we've been getting signatures for, Low and Saigon for now. And we're going to get them served within the next couple of weeks. And we're working with San Bernardino, Riverside, Sacramento,
so good.
Los Angeles.
Come on.
Yes.
That is huge.
Yes.
I want you to text me and let's get like a real interview on the
Sounds
show.
good.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you for being a stand for freedom. You're amazing. Are you from here originally?
Nobody knows this. They think I'm just a white girl. I grew up in East LA on welfare, a single mom.
Wow.
Didn't finish high school. And
look at you, moving and shaking in the state of California,
exactly
taking
right.
our California back, girl.
We are.
Well done.
Right.
Well done. Looking forward to connecting. All right. There is power and truth and strength and unity. This is probably one of the most important things. One of the most important things. Oh, come on. Ladies, what was your take on tonight?
Well, my take was the question asked by Christina Eric Fleming, what we're going to do about the corruption in the family court. And I'm glad to hear that all the candidates were on the same page. They talked a lot about CPS, but it starts with the courts, starts with the judges, and we should have a jury to determine who's the better parent or where the child should go, not just one single judge.
That's beautiful. Well said.
Well, let's just hope that the voices are heard. And they're not just giving us lip service for what we want to hear. We want to see it follow through. That's the biggest takeaway is we want to see follow through. We can say what we want to hear and we can listen to them, but the next step is to see who's going to actually make it, accountable.
Yeah. What is your name?
My name is Bridget.
Bridget, you're so beautiful. Bridget, thank you so much. Thanks for being a stand for the children.
Thank you.
Appreciate
and
you.
the elderly.
And the elderly.
It's happening on both sides. There was a man.
Yeah.
Hasn't seen his father in 30 years and knew that when he had 6 minutes to go knock on the door that they were going to call the police, that he had that moment in time to be able to see and visit. Mom is very high up. Dad was very high up. He has done nothing wrong. 30 years he's still fighting this fight. So we're grateful to be here, grateful to fight the fight, to help other people fight that fight, and be a voice for children and the elderly who don't have one.
Thank you for being that voice for them.
Thank you for wanting to report on that. We really, really appreciate you.
So good. I'm going to leave you my card. Follow my show. Take Your Power Back Show.
Oh, I love
TakeYourPowerBackShow.com.
Yes, thank you.
And then we'll have to have you guys on again, like a team of you.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
A lot.
Okay, gentlemen, hello. It's good to see you. I remember you. Kim Yeater, Take Your Power Back Show. Oh, no video. No video for you. Okay, no worries. Okay, it's good to see you. It's been a little while. I'll come talk to you after. Okay, you guys are live. What was your I got some good feedback tonight, but what was your take?
My take is I love the event. I like finally that 5 candidates really get to go at it, right? I believe that my message resonates more than the others, although I like a couple of candidates that were on stage. I believe there's some corruption that was standing on stage, and I'm done with the BS. And we're going to have to call the people out, and we're going to be recognized for what they are, because that's the last type of person I can help put in office. And we're going to win this.
And you know what? You know what, guys? That's what the people want right now. That's what the people want, Louis Herms. What they're telling me right now is they want you all to call one another out, because they don't know what's true, what's not true. They're mixed up by even the taking the knee. So I wanted to see that tonight. I wanted to see there was a moment of you guys holding one another accountable, a moment of exposure. But I'm telling you, I want to see it all, because get the shit out now so that people can powerfully choose.
Agreed. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Yeater just said shit. I'm
Oh my gosh, hold on. I did. I just said shit.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Well, Louis, you did a fantastic job tonight. Way to stand firm. Way to show up. And I'll see you in Shasta, baby.
That's terrible.
We got to fix our military. They should get proper. The F-35 is a good job. They're not proper. The Marines always get the hand. That's something that I have.
We do more with less.
Yes.
Yeah, well, simple. I appreciate that. Lita?
I have to interview you.
We'll come back, sir, Bob. We'll come back. All right. Let's see if there's anybody else that we need to talk to. Well, Greg, I think I'm going to wrap it up. And let me turn this around. I think we're on a mission tonight. I think mission accomplished. We did an excellent job. These guys did an excellent job.
I think they did an excellent job. And it really, I love what you were just talking to Mr. Herms about, because he was the one that said, hey, let's get it out right now. Let's put it out there. Let's here we are. We have to be honest with the American people and the Californians, I guess. And so I'm digging it. And you know, it feels so good that you know we're getting closer. You can just feel we're getting some people dropping out and some coalitions coming in. Let's put you over here. And I like.
Oh, strategy, baby. We're excited. This is amazing, because we're committed to taking California back for God and for we the people.
Amen.
Come on. On that note, guys, I think I'm going to close out for the night. And I want you to know we've got some big things coming up. So hang with us. Go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com, takeourcaliforniaback.com. If you have not seen the in-depth interviews that we've done with all of those candidates that were on that stage tonight, as well as additional candidates, you want to go to takeourcaliforniaback.com. That's takeourcaliforniaback.com. This is it. This is the time that we the people get to take our power back. In-depth interviews. If you have questions, if you're even wondering about taking the knee, if you're wondering about some of the things that they said, some of the claims that they made, was it true? Like, I didn't get a deep enough answer. Go to those interviews, because you'll get that answer. The Bible says the heart is deep waters. A wise man draws out the heart. Well, they're awesome interviews. Go check them out. Bye, Greg. Love you. Have a good night. And to all of you, God bless you. I'll see you on the other side. We've got an amazing interview next Wednesday, 10 a.m. We've got Shasta County Clint Curtis, and we've got Patrick Henry Jones. You want to be there, because we're talking election reform. You've heard what Trump's saying. He's bringing it all to light. It's time.